Hello everyone and welcome to this Ombre Powder Brow tutorial. I wanted to share this with you guys because a lot of people struggle with how to do ombre powder brows correctly. So that's why I created this tutorial. I wanted to offer something that was free of cost that people can watch over and over again, and I'm going to be offering a lot of tips in this video. So I hope that you find it helpful, and I always welcome your questions as well. Okay, so the first thing that I'm doing is drawing out the brow shape. So you see me here drawing out the brow shape on latex. When you are creating a latex brow, you want to use a latex that is thick, that is more like a silicone, not something that takes pigment right away. You want to use something that is going to be very realistic, like real skin, okay? The latex should be thick and it shouldn't take pigment on the first pass. So you will see that actually just to do one brow, it took me about 1 hour of time. So I am going to be speeding this video up so that you can see how I work. But I'm also going to be slowing it down so that you can see the actual real pace of things. Alrighty, so right now I am showing you how I do the outline. In this video I am using a 3RL. You can use a 1RL or a 3RL needle. So when I'm doing the outline here, you will see that I don't do the full outline in one shot. I go piece by piece, section by section, and I start with the top side of the tail, which you will see here. Once I do this, I then wipe. I recommend that you wipe with a dry Q-tip, but in this video, you will see me wiping with a wet wipe or a napkin. I recommend that you wipe to check your work before you continue. You want to be making sure that you're implanting pigment into the skin before you're moving forward. If you have not implanted enough pigment, then you should go over it again, like you see me doing in this video. Okay, so I go and take my time. I don't rush through the outline. I make sure that my outline is in before I move forward in the brow. The outline is step one, and it should not be rushed, and you should definitely not be moving forward if you're not completed the outline. So you see that I work both the bottom and the top. I'm really locking in my tail here. It's super important to lock in that shape before you continue. I recommend, again, that you wipe with precision. I call it precision wiping. And that is when you take a dry Q-tip and you wipe against the brow to see if your outline is there. The outline that you see currently that looks like it's there, it's actually the pencil drawing. The pencil drawing, when I draw it on this latex, it really sticks to the latex. But when you see me doing my outline, and you'll see later on in the video, the outline is very, very soft and crisp. So I'm going to speed this video up a little bit now so that you can see how I do the full outline. I'm going to stop it when I need to discuss something important with you guys. Okay, so here I'm getting to the front of the outline. The front from point 1 to point 2, the top line there that I'm working on now, it should be super soft. Super, super, super soft. The bottom line can be a little bit more defined, but you never want to make it very, very harsh. You don't want your outline to be harsh because then it's going to be difficult to blend in, and when it heals, it's going to be noticeable. So I prefer to do a soft outline. Sometimes you'll see that I'll do a little drop of vegetable glycerin, and the vegetable glycerin basically helps pick up the pigment, and if there's any stains on the latex, it'll help pick it up so that only the pigment that you've implanted into the latex is visible. Okay, so now that my outline is in, you will see that I start to shade the brow in. And I start at the tail, working toward me in a very soft motion. Take a look at how I'm holding the pen. The pen is being held between my index finger, or the pointer finger is doing the work. And then my middle finger is also pushing the pen forward. So how you're holding the pen is super important. And you want to make sure that you're holding it correctly. As you can see, my thumb is not holding the pen very tight. I'm keeping my thumb very loose, and the purpose of my thumb is only for stability. I'm not using my thumb as a harsh, I'm not using the thumb as a way of like holding the pen very tightly. Okay, so that's important. All right, here you'll see that I'm erasing the penciled outline a little bit so that way my pixels can show. So I'm just erasing the pencil drawing. Okay, so here you'll notice I'm using a motion of moving the pen toward me. That is the motion that I'm using. I'm moving the pen toward me. As I'm working, I'm not skipping any sections. That means that I am saturating evenly until I get to the tail. Once I saturate one section evenly, then I move forward. Okay, so here you will see that I'm moving forward while I'm still saturating the previous section little by little. Always wipe to check your work. The way that I'm showing you on this latex is the same exact way that I do it when I'm working on a client, okay? I don't move forward until this tail is saturated enough, okay? This is all considered my first pass. Okay, so now I'm moving forward in the brow because I've saturated the tail. So now I'm going over the next section. I'm still going over the previous section by 50%. That is the way that you avoid having areas that are darker and areas that are lighter. You see how I'm going over the brow, but I'm also going over the previous section by 50%. I'm overlapping section by section. Always wipe and check your work. You never want to move forward without checking your work. Okay, so you're going to see that this is the way that I'm going to be going through the whole brow. All right, here's another tip. When you're going through this section of the brow, this is typically where the brow bone is protruding, so the skin is a little bit thinner right at that arch area. So make sure that you use light pressure in this area until you can get a feel for your client's skin. So this is what the pixels look like before I wipe them. Okay, the pixels should look like dots, not commas. So it should look like a lot of individual little dots. All right, so now I'm working the front of the brow. When I'm working the front of the brow, my motion is loose and very gentle. You never want to oversaturate the fronts of the eyebrows. All right, so here we're working on the second pass. Again, I start from the tail. I'm now saturating. This is where the bulk of the work comes through. in the second pass for me. I'm going to be making sure that I'm still going section by section, overlapping my sections by 50% and checking my work as I go. Always want to be checking your work. You will see that I wipe to make sure I can see what I'm implanting. Okay, that's very, very important. As you work the skin, you're going to notice that the skin becomes more open and more, and it takes more pigment. At this stage, you definitely should have already put your secondary numbing on. I didn't cover that, but I typically apply the secondary numbing right after I do the outline. I open the skin a little bit with the machine, and then I apply the secondary numbing. I let the secondary numbing sit. It usually blanches the skin, and then you'll be able to see your outline a lot better. Sorry I didn't mention that earlier, but better late than never. So here we are. You can see that I'm carefully saturating. Another thing that you want to make sure is that when you're working on a real person, you really want to make sure that you're not going over the outline again. That's super, super, super important. You don't want to be oversaturating the outline because then it's going to be hard to blend together. Take a look at the motion of my hand. You see that it's my index finger and my middle finger that are working. I'm not holding the pen very, very tight. I'm holding it nice and loosely. Okay, so here I am back at the front of the brow. This is where you're going to be, again, very, very light with your hand motions. You don't want to be applying too much pressure to the front of the brow. Okay, so after you clean the brow, you can apply more secondary numbing if you're going to, and then you're going to go in for your third pass. The third pass is going to be the lightest pass of them yet. You want to be making sure that you're not tearing up the skin too much, that you're not overworking the skin, that you're being gentle with it, and you're just saturating it a little bit more. Alrighty, so there you can see the pixels that we've created after the second pass on latex. We still have a little bit more work to do on this brow, and you're going to see how I strategically fill it in on my third pass. On this pass, I'm going over those sections that really, really need it. So just making sure to leave everything nice and even. And this is like the final inspection. This is when you're going through your brow, you're combing through it with the brush, and you're evaluating to see if there's any areas that need to be darkened, if there's any light spots. You're going to make sure to cover it and blend it in together. And so that's what you're going to do for your third pass. Yes, you are saturating, and you are especially checking for any areas that are lighter than others. Okay guys, so now I'm going to introduce you guys to something that we call cross shading. This is a technique within the Beauty Angels Academy, and basically what you're doing is you're blending the brow together. I really, really like this technique. I feel like it helps to saturate the brows and add color to areas that need it. It also helps blend the brow together. So this is how you apply the cross shading. And then here you'll see that I go a little bit more. I'm applying a little bit more color here when I'm doing the cross shading, just to blend everything together. Okay, so here you will see the brow, the latex practice brow. So this took me about 1 hour to do, and that's how long it should take if you are taking your time and doing it right, and using a latex that simulates real skin. So I hope that you enjoyed the video and that you were able to take away a lot of good things. If you're interested in learning more, you can look out for classes that I host. I am a master trainer and I teach people how to create beautiful brows, how to build businesses, and be successful in this industry. So thank you once again. My name is Monique Garcia and I'm so happy to have you. Thank you for watching the video. Remember that the sky is the limit and you can achieve anything that you want to. Anything that you put your mind to, you can do it. Okay? Never forget that.